Okay, so again, I died. Even earlier this time. And I've making it to boss. I make 430. So I just don't know what to do. I know I don't suck. Because, well, I beat controller mode. I am doing pretty good on the new battalion or something like that. I don't suck. It's just the units. I mean, the summoning base is like the only good one. The rest of them suck. So, I gotta say, after like many failed attempts, that which one's the cheapest? Yeah, this one. So, you get out. Also, for some reason, that's not working. And no, it's not because of the unit's fault. It just means it's not working. They found out how to unequip him. Just cram units full, and then you're just forced out. So, yeah. Of course, to get him back in, which they never said there's no way how to. Now, until they fix it, I have to use this guy as a Titan, which basically just maybe waste 40,000 bricks that they could have used on this guy. Anyways, off topic. Anyways, yeah. Another thing I should talk about while I'm here. The prices. Oh my god. Because, yeah, I guess they have a path going to then more than this, than this. Only increasing a bit at a time if you think about it. If you follow the path. But then this. After that, then yeah, they follow sort of like a path, but at the same time, they cost so much. Like, what makes you better than you? Nothing. I've checked it, unless I've like seen false information. You are just a worse version of this guy. With less health, or 130 health. This guy is 625, and that's at base. No, but she gets armor. Guess what? This guy does too. I don't know why anyone would buy you. You're 1,000 more. Maybe you have more range. Yeah, range 11. No, same range. You're just the worst version. Ew, you're quicker. But, oh my god, it's not even... Wow, okay. Off topic. 5,000 for a large. Then 6,500. Which kind of means, what the heck you doing up here in the thousands? This guy, which is way better, and this guy, which is way better, are cheaper than you. And you are just a better version of them. And you're only 500 more. You are 2,500 less than Sergeant Bot. Which I guess, while I do the later modes, I don't want to have to rely on businesses too much. I need them to keep them alive. But at the same time, if they're so necessary, why the heck are they so gosh darn expensive? Like, honestly, you're more expensive than this, which is a real good unit. You are more expensive than... yes, for this. When this is a buffer that actually does good. A range buff, a damage buff. Basically, I feel like you should just add a healing factor to this and maybe up the price. Or do something with this. Because at max, they basically just unstun. heal, and I have a little drone that does minute damage. Like, okay, it's not here, but yeah, they do damage at max level, but little damage. And you might as well just buy this. Like, this should just get like some sort of healing factor. Then get rid of this. This is good. Like, real good. But this is still better. So this should be like a bit cheaper. This is just speed. And then a little damage. Should just be cheaper since it's only one buff. This one that does 2 buffs is half the price. Yes, it's speed buff, which is actually real good, especially considering there's stuff like this that have 4-second cooldown. So that I'd say is good. But for a dual buffer being cheaper, it should be cheaper. Okay, then these I'd say are actually pretty decent. This is basically just a better version of that because low damage but low cooldown. Better version of that. That is just a way better version of this one. Have giant hammer, way more health, better version. And this is just a better version of these two. It's basically these combined. It gets this one's double machine gun that it has to max level. At this max level is shoulder cannons. Then this hammer is a handgun. So it's basically just bigger range version of both of these. So I'm surprised that this isn't more expensive. Especially when we have this being 7,500, this being 9,000, this being only 6,500, and basically being a combination of these should as well be way more expensive. I'm not saying anything I like that's cheap. If you're seeing this, Mr. Lazy Guy Studio, if you're seeing this, don't raise the price, but that is real good. But this, which combines this, but worse, since it summons stationary gunner noobs and movable gunner noobs, basically. So, basically just movable and stationary gunner noobs. It basically just steals this, but worse because it doesn't have the other 4 or 3 units. So I'm just saying, with it being worse from that, plus sniper and scale faction, yeah, it has basically the weapon of this, just quicker cooldown. So hang on, there's open it. I will thought longer, but it has the damn. It's basically just this bit more range and the worst version of this. So it should be, since this is just 300 and then a worse version of that. It is real good. So I would say more than just them combined. It is good, but it should at least be like around the price of, in between the price of these, I'd say. Not in between the price of these. That way it's like a step in between this and this, having a worse summoning factor, but having damage. So it's like a step in between them. So I'd say it should be in between them. Not in between a worse version of, not in between this and this, or this and this. Because I have no idea why that makes sense. Another thing, the tape's actually pretty balanced, I'd say. Well, for the same price of these, you get that. So maybe not, because it's for only 10,000 more. So 2 miles more, you get both of these, which are way better than that. So maybe it's not that good priced on this one, or maybe even this one should be 10,000 less, but or something like that. But this to this, I'd say it's just a better of that. This gets a sword, so it's melee, and then 2 mortars. This, I don't know how those attack. I honestly don't. So if they're like mortars, it's basically that. Plus, it's dual arm cannons. If I'm not mistaken, it does stomp still. If I'm not mistaken, it's those stomps or some with core or some combination. I think it stomps, right? Just stomp. So it basically has, this is sword, just less, whatever those more thing are, plus dual arm cannons. So only being 9,000 more, or heck, that's 8,000 more, I'd say is actually pretty reasonable. Maybe even in this case scenario, cheaper. Now again, I'm not saying anything, don't change the price, I'm just saying it's pretty good. Then you got 20,000 more, but it earns it having basically 4 machine guns, don't know if the core does anything, then dual arm swords, so that's pretty good. Then the guy with mortars on his back, spear, and a shotgun in the middle. So it's pretty average, but then we have this in between these. I would not say it's that good. I'd say this is way better for cheaper, and this for 10,000 more is way better. So don't know what that. And the reason I'm not talking about any of these, they're collab units, event units, not there full time. So if we're gonna bring them into pricing, I'd say it'd be very different. With this being like in between these, I'd say if we're not counting abilities, being like more expensive than that, it'd ruin like the entire thing. Especially since this, which is like as good as this, being like half the price, this like a collab area would just bring all down. So that's why we're just not talking about it. Okay. So anyways, yeah, with only making 400 in easy mode, it's supposed to get all the way up to this and this. I would not say that's good. And 800, I'm supposed to make it all the way up to Titans. Yes, because on control mode, now even being harder, I had, how I beat it was me having this guy and this guy with my skin, and ended up having one teammate have this, one teammate have, 2 teammates have these, and the third one had another MKI Titan, just no skin. And then we had tanks and large block dummies. I think someone even had dummy base, so that's even more proof that's good. So anyways, yeah, we had all that, so we did all that, and we won. I wouldn't say quickly, and I'm saying with this new revamp on both things, because if you didn't know, on controller mode I learned from my time beating it, once the Dominator Skill Titan gets to half health, it gets the Summons the Robotics Titan, which also had a revamp making it harder, because the Robotics Titan killed the MKI Titan twice, which I think it has the least health. No, I'm just looking at these if it gets more health than second least health of the Titan. And does that count as a large? I mean, he's a large kind of, but at the same time he's, I don't know where to count him. He's like I think since he's like a mech, I think he'd be like somewhere in here, which is like in between and like good, and so he'd be like the first thing in there. Surprised there's no like guest helicopter or something. Because those are pretty known. So I'm surprised there's nothing like that. But on the same hand, I guess. So, anyways, oh my god, why am I talking about that? Anyways, yeah. The pricing, I just think it needs to be redone. Maybe not on the Titans, but definitely on, like, stuff here. And these being, like, middle ground between everything in here kind of makes sense. But, yeah, I feel as though pricing should be redone, especially with these being 4,000 apart and this being like 50 times better from what I hear. So definitely feel as though that they should be prices, or especially with the new bosses, the whatchamacallem rewards being buffed. Okay, thank you. Have a good day.